Good evening, my friends. I want to address a common pattern I see my clients get stuck in often, which is thinking that your progress in recovery is about what you're doing or not doing with your body instead of what brain state you're in and what brain state you're cultivating throughout the day in recovery. Some really common examples of this are people, the limbic system is one, it tends to really obsess about the physical because that's what it's designed to focus on sensory things, and limbic systems love everything physical, the way things look and feel and the senses and so forth. So it's going to look at and it's obsessed with symptoms and limitation. So wherever your limitations or symptoms are, or the symptoms that create those limitations are, the brain is going to look for progress in having more capacity, more function, less limitation, which means, okay, well, I'm eating this instead of that, or I'm eating more, or I'm walking more, or am I inside or outside? Am I driving or not driving? Am I working? Am I being productive? Am I, laying down or sitting up or standing? Am I socializing more? Does my life look more like my old normal? That's often what the limbic system is going to look for to identify your progress. And those things in limbic impairment recovery have nothing to do with progress. In this situation, what you're doing is rewiring your limbic system. So the only thing that matters is the brain state you're in. That's it. It does not matter what your body's doing throughout the day in a certain sense, right? Because it's all about brain state. When I was in recovery, this was really obvious to me. I think because my main expression for a lot of my recovery was it started with a mental illness expression. That was the biggest thing that happened after my relapse. And if I let that get out of hand, the physical stuff would get way worse. And even when my physical, I lost all of my progress I made in the first 5 months. In the 6 months after that, when I couldn't generate any dose, I was back to square one in terms of training zone. I lost, well, maybe 95% of my progress. There was a few foods I kept that I was able to eat, but my body wasn't able to hold on to anything I was eating. So I lost a ton of weight, and it still wasn't a great situation, even though technically I could eat a couple things more than I had been able to before. And the biggest thing, so for me, it was a little easier in this to see it as a brain state thing because of the situation I was in. But I realized it's one of the most common things that my clients trip on is getting caught up with what they're doing with their bodies throughout the day. And that doesn't matter. The key is just to focus on what brain state am I in, or what brain state am I cultivating throughout the day. That's it. This is the brain. It's all about the brain. And the more you do that, the more you focus on, interrupting trauma loops and creating dose and learning how to do those things. Those are skills that they have a lot of pieces to them. It takes a long time to learn them. That's really what's going to expand your training zone. The more you're in dose, the more function and capacity you're going to have. But a lot of times people don't get there because they're so focused on the capacity they don't have and what they're doing now, and getting frustrated and feeling really like they're still identifying with illness because of what they're not doing. And that's a key. Never, ever focus on what you're not doing or what you're not able to do. If you want to make progress in this journey, focus on what you can do only, and focus on brain state. Look at your day in terms of what brain state am I in? What brain state am I cultivating? That is it. That is the whole progress. And naturally from that place, almost like you're digging a well, the progress will come, just like the water will come. If you focus on digging the well, it will come. 100% it will. And it will come naturally, and it will feel natural when you do it. When we regain capacities we've lost through being in limbic impairment, on an authentic level, it feels very natural because it is very natural. We're just reigniting these healthy pathways in our brains that have been there, or been, there, at least the structure of them has always been there. So focus on brain state, not on what you're doing with your body, and always, always focus on what you can do, not on what you can't do. Love you guys.